Hey guys, welcome back to another interview here on Toned In Entertainment. Today, I'm joined by Lee Johnson. How are you doing today, Lee?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing great, ma'am. You're a pretty busy guy.
Man, these past 2 months have been hectic, very, but I love it.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on 9 or 10 matches already on AEW, I think?
Yeah, I think it's, now it's about 9.
9. I think that's what they announced the other night when I was watching, when you were in the ring with Brian Cage, of all people. I think they said it was like your 9th match already.
Yeah.
They have not given it to you easy. You've had guys like Wardlow and Brian Cage and just the biggest guy. Brodi Lee, yes.
It's MJF. It's been very tough for me in the beginning, but eventually we'll get things rolling in due time.
Right. Because you've been doing some tag matches as well.
Yes.
Have those? Yeah, go ahead.
I've been doing some tag matches on Dark.
Are those more fun to do than the solo matches?
So, actually, I have to say no. I actually enjoy the solo matches a little bit more. I think right now, a big thing for me is being able to sell, and going in there with those bigger guys. Honestly, on the indies, that's something that I've really never had to deal with. Either guys are my size or they're smaller, maybe just a little bit bigger. And here, now I'm coming across giants. So it's different for me, and I kind of like it. Eventually, I'll catch the hang of what it takes
right.
to get in the ring with them.
Who would you say has probably been the most intimidating guy you've gotten in the ring in AEW with?
Man, that's a tough one. Honestly, Brian Cage. Honestly, despite being in there with Wardlow and Mr. Brodi Lee, those guys are very intimidating themselves. But Brian Cage, he's so strong. And I don't think people understand that a guy like him, he's very strong, and I don't even know if he knows that he's that strong. It's insane. He threw me across the ring, and that ring is, 20 by 20. It's not small at all, and he threw me, the full distance. So probably Brian Cage for sure.
Right. I mean, you can just tell by just watching him on TV. He's a scary-looking dude. So I don't need. You're a lot braver guy than I am, because I don't think I can look across from him and say, "Let's have a wrestling match."
Yeah.
Now you got to tag against, I think, one of the best tag teams that's going today, Private Party. How was that experience?
Oh man, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Those are guys that I always wanted to step into the ring with. I didn't know how that was going to happen because I'm not a tag team wrestler. But luckily, I found myself a partner, and I was able to step into the ring with them, and I enjoyed it. I had a blast. Mark and Isaiah are both phenomenal guys. I love watching them, and it was exciting to finally step into the ring with them.
Yeah, no, that was a good match. I know Mark took a pretty bad bump this Wednesday on Dynamite. I'm hoping he's okay.
Oh, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Now, when you first kind of got that call that you were going to do a match on AEW, how exciting was that?
Oh, man, I'm so excited. It's insane. More so for the fact that the pandemic had just started. So I know Tony has talked about it a ton. Cody, etc. It was just in a situation where a lot of the roster wasn't able to make it, and there was a need for local talent to step in and, kind of step up. And there was a ton of guys that, stepped in and stepped up, and I was very happy to step in, and I was very happy that I was used continually. I I was on there either every week on Dark or every other week on Dynamite. So I was very excited, 100%.
Right, yeah, I know. I just got done interviewing Mr. Grimm, and we were talking. He just kind of showed up to AEW, and they kind of were like, hey, man, you got a match with Wardlow tonight. And so it's just kind of like one of those things. I guess you always have to have your ring gear with you and always be prepared for anything, right?
Yes, that's the first thing that you kind of learn. Outside of anything wrestling, inside of the ring, one of the first things that you learn is always bring your ring gear with you, because you never know when someone can't make it. You never know when, any unfortunate situation. So that was like one of the first things that I learned, probably like my second show. I was asked if I wanted to be in a match, and I didn't have my gear with me. At the time, I didn't really have gear anyway because I was super new. So my gear was just like jogging pants and like wrestling shoes. It was the worst gear ever. But regardless, I didn't even have that. And I was told, like, hey, just, from now on, just always bring it with you. And I've stuck with that. I think is the best thing that you can always do. Just always have it handy when you're going to a show.
Right. Now, what was it that made you decide that you wanted to try to be a professional wrestler?
Oh, man. So I've known since I was about like 2 or 3 years old that it was what, I wanted to do. Watching it, I fell in love with it at a young age. I was watching guys like Batista and The Undertaker and Eddie Guerrero and, just those kind of guys really catching my attention. I think once I got a little bit older and kind of understood, like, hey, this is possible, that's when I was like, I got to go for it. So as I got older, you go through the part in your life where high school happens and you get all the questions of what are you going to do, and my answer was always, I'm going to be a professional wrestler since day one. It was always to my parents, hey, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. I didn't know how I was going to get there at all, but I knew it was what I was going to go for regardless. So high school happened. I went to college for a little bit, like a semester or so, and I was like, man, I do not want to be here. This is not what I want. I found a wrestling school that was nearby, and I started training. I started working so that I can have the money for training, and every single week I was there, and it's just been that way for me. It's like normal for me to just be at training, and I think the only way that you're ever gonna, not only be the best but be better than you were the day before is by keeping it going. So yeah, I just knew, man, like, I wanted to do it, and you just gotta go for it with anything.
Now you named some big names there: Batista, Eddie Guerrero, The Undertaker. Who was your biggest inspiration?
Oh, man, that's tough. So I have a top 5. The hardest thing and the thing that throws people off is that my top 5 is actually a top 6 technically, because my number 1 spot is absolutely a tie between The Undertaker and Batista. Like, I can't choose which one is better than the other. I can't choose which one influenced me more than the other. I can't say my first ever favorite was The Undertaker. That's because he was doing his thing before Batista. And then once Batista came along, I was like, man, these guys are... And then once they had their feud with each other. So without a shadow of a doubt, those two are at a high tie. Along with them, AJ Styles is like right behind them. I'm such a huge AJ Styles guy. And then, you have The Rock, you have Eddie Guerrero. Sami Zayn is a guy that I've watched religiously. Triple H, and I don't know, man, there's just a ton, but if I have to narrow it down to just one, it technically has to be those two, The Undertaker and Batista. So technically 2.
Technically 2, yeah. No, I mean, you said AJ Styles. I actually got to meet AJ Styles back when he was in Impact in TNA. I mean, they were wrestling at like a gymnasium.
Right, yeah.
And
it's insane.
Yeah, no, him and Samoa Joe were both there, and it's like you could just go in the ring and just take pictures with these guys. Like after, oh, my light went out on my camera right there. Hold on 1 second. Technical difficulties here. Yeah, no, it was like you could just go into the ring with these guys and just take pictures with them, and now they're like some of the biggest stars on the planet as far as wrestling goes.
Exactly. For sure, man. Like AJ Styles, he was right after those two. He was the guy that caught my eye on a wrestling standpoint. You know, for them, they were very larger than life. I didn't watch them for what they did in the ring. It was the theatrics, the entrances that they had. It was the explosiveness that came with them. AJ Styles, when I found him, I was just scrolling through. I didn't know of TNA, never heard of it. It was maybe like 2007, 2008, because Kurt Angle, I flipped the channel and I see Kurt Angle, and I'm like, I thought this guy was like done. Never heard of TNA ever. And then I see Kurt Angle, and then the very next person I see is AJ Styles, and I'm like, okay. And then I watch AJ Styles wrestle, and I'm like, okay. And, you know, honestly, he was the only reason I ever watched TNA. And then after he left, I stopped watching. When he came to WWE, in my opinion, the second greatest debut of all time behind Chris Jericho, who is also one of my favorites as well. He's in that top 5 as well. So yeah, AJ Styles, man, he's phenomenal. As you know, 100%.
Right. It's so funny you say like Jericho, the entrance. I mean, I remember him. You know, I was a big WCW guy, and I know how frustrated he was at the time with like how creative was going. And I remember him slamming the chair up against the ring post and all that, and then he left. And like that entrance that night when he came out with The Rock and he was Y2J and the man of the millennium, it was just, I mean, Jericho has been like the guy that, I mean, still 2020, we're still talking about Jericho, and I'm talking about him in 1998, 97, 2000, 20-some years later, we're still talking about Jericho. And Jericho in the ring, Jericho on commentary is absolutely hilarious. He's fantastic. I mean, he's got to go down as one of the greatest of all time.
Of course, man. I don't think people understand how truly great he is at what he does. Not only is he, for his age, he's doing so well, but for him to be able to reinvent himself, and over the span of 20 years to just constantly keep himself new. He's not stale. He's not the same old Chris Jericho that we've always seen. Every single time he comes, you know, he comes up with something new, and it's always something different. And anything he touches turns into money. I think it's without question that he is the biggest reason why everyone knew AEW was going to work. You know, everyone knew AEW was going to work because of the guys involved, like Cody and Kenny and the Bucks, and those are phenomenal guys. But everyone also knew, like, Chris Jericho's behind this. If anyone is turning their channel and they see Chris, just like me, when I turned my channel and I saw Kurt Angle, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll see. You know, anyone's turning their channel and they see Chris Jericho on TV, they're going to watch. Anything he does is money.
No, it's so true. And it's, you know, it was interesting, like, when AEW first started, because there were still, I think, some fans that probably hadn't watched wrestling in a long time, and they saw Jericho. And I remember being at an event in Jacksonville at Daly's place. It was Fyter Fest last year, and people started chanting, like, you know, some of the old school fans started chanting, like, Y2J, Y2J. He's like, dude, that character's done. Like, no, this is Chris Jericho. Like, it's a whole new Jericho. And I actually have a buddy of mine that works in media, and he was working on trying to get an interview with Jericho. And again, he hadn't watched wrestling in years. He's like, oh man, if I get to interview Jericho, I'm going to ask him to put me on the list. I'm like, no, don't do that. Like that, it's done. You're going to make a fool of yourself.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Not a thing at all anymore.
No, he's got the Inner Circle. I mean, I just bought the pay-per-view last week. The Stadium Stampede match was just
great.
One of the most interesting bizarre, fun, entertaining things you can actually ask for. And like the pay-per-view itself was really good, but Jericho and the Inner Circle and the Stampede match, oh my god, it was so much fun.
Yes, 100% I agree.
Yeah. Now, after you're done wrestling all these big matches in AEW, you got to be hungry. What food are you going for?
Man, all I can say is the only answer is the first win. I think that's it. That's what I'm chasing. Right now, my record is not what I want it to be. It's bad. I actually got compared to, no disrespect to them, but I was actually compared to Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler like a few times on Dark. So I think now number one for me is just chasing that first win, and that's what I'm going after.
Right. I know they're kind of like building up something with them now, because I think they're the only two guys that have been there since the beginning that don't have a victory. I mean, even Leva Bates has a victory. She got a win with Nyla Rose in a tag team match where Nyla did all the work and she got the win. But it's like you got to get that win in before the Librarian and Brandon Cutler, right?
Exactly. Before one of them, at least.
I have a feeling they're going to have a match here, and one of them's going to eventually get the win here, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
One of them has to get that win.
Now, you've wrestled some pretty high-profile guys in AEW so far. Who would you say that you haven't had a match with? Who would you like to get in the ring with?
Ooh, okay. So I have a list of that as well. I have to say, if I'm gonna go about 5 guys, I think number 1 has to be Cody. I think Cody is the heart and soul of AEW. When I think of Cody, I think of Sting. I think of, like for WWE, I think of like The Undertaker. He's the guy that, at the end of the day, he's AEW until the end. And what he does in the ring is great. The emotion that he brings in the ring is great. And I think having a match with Cody, that is 100% the number 1 thing on my list right now. Number 2 would have to be Lance Archer. He's one of those guys that, in my opinion, I don't know if too many people remember, but I remember because I had the video game SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, and I remember him being in it, and I remember not really knowing him too well. And I did watch a few matches, and he was, at the time, what he was. And he's one of those guys that never stopped, and he completely changed his game. Over the years, he's become an absolute animal. What he does in the ring is phenomenal for his size. Like, he's insane. I would love to step in the ring with him. Number 3 would have to be Jungle Boy. I love Jungle Boy. I watch what he does. I watch his matches. I think he's insane. I think we're the same age, and I think he has a very bright future. He's very innovative, very creative. So definitely Jungle Boy. Let me think. I would also have to say Sammy as well. Sammy's very good. Sammy has another long career ahead of him. I would love to step in the ring with Sammy. I've watched a lot of his indie stuff as well. He's insane. And then obviously the last one has to be Jericho. I think anyone in AEW wants to show Jericho like, hey, like I can do this. I should be here. I think Jericho is that guy that you have to show him like, hey, I'm capable. And I would love to wrestle Jericho. I would love to wrestle Jericho. So that is my 5 guys right now that I would, if I had the opportunity to go down the line, I would do it just that way. Nice,
yeah. It looks like Jungle Boy, 2 of those guys on your list, Jungle Boy and Cody, are going to have a little face-off because Jungle Boy won the Battle Royal this week.
Yep.
Cody's the TNT champion, the first ever TNT champion, which is awesome to see Cody get a belt, because I think a lot of people were concerned, especially when AEW started up. It was kind of like, what direction is it going to go? Everybody thought, the old WCW where the good old boys ran the show, and it was nice to see Private Party beat the Bucks in the first round of the tag team tournaments. Cody got that big title shot, and they're like, oh, here we go. Cody's going to be the world champ. Jericho stayed the champ. So it's been nice that AEW hasn't been, predictable. You can never guess what's going to go on. A lot of people thought Mox was going to drop the title at the pay-per-view to Brody Lee. Old WCW might have done that. Oh, here's the guy from WWE. Let's bring him in. And, it's been very unpredictable. It's been a lot of fun. And most importantly, they're giving a lot of the independent wrestlers some time to shine, which is great.
Exactly, 100%. They've allowed a ton of guys to come in and just have the opportunity during this pandemic, which is great. Also, going back to the comment about Cody and the Bucks, and I think one thing that hopefully the fans understand is that AEW is very unselfish in the way that they are. None of the guys have this, it's no question that it's no secret at all that in WCW, I didn't watch WCW at all. I was not even old enough, but it's no question that in WCW guys like Nash, Hogan, etc., they were kind of in it for themselves. They wanted to book themselves a certain way. They wanted to be, and AEW's not, they're completely the opposite. They don't have any agenda for themselves. One guy isn't saying, hey, I should do it this way. Everyone's very unselfish. We're all in this a certain, for a certain reason. And I hope the fans are starting to understand, hey, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be, oh, because Cody's here, Cody's going to be world champion. Or, oh, because the Bucks are here, the Bucks are going to be tag team champions. Or Kenny's going to be world champion. Or, it's not like that at all.
Right. No, you can tell there's a big difference in it. And everybody who I've talked to that's either worked as a wrestler or worked backstage. I know I talked to Alicia Toot not too long ago, and she's done interviews with the Bucks and Cody and Kenny, and she was at the first event. I remember asking her, and she's like, it's such a nice world back there that everybody kind of gets along. Everybody's in it for the bigger picture, and that's what Mr. Grimm was saying, who I just got off interviewing with. He's like, guys like Jerry Lynn were just coming down and sitting down and talking to me. It wasn't like, here, you're the new guy, go sit in the corner, and just do your job.
100%.
It was like, right?
100%. Not at all. And another thing that I don't know if people know, but it's the same way with Tony Khan as well. Tony doesn't just, I've heard my stories about how it might be at the WWE and, the way things might go. Tony is right there to be your biggest supporter at the end of whatever you did. Great job, good job. And every guy there, nobody there has ever made me feel any type of way. And I will say that is a worry that I might have had because I'm super new into the business. I'm a little bit younger. So one of my worries was, hey, once you do get into the big deals, how's that going to work? Is it going to be like, but yeah, like Mr. Grimm said, no one, was like that at all. Jericho comes out there, Jericho talks to you, Jericho, before the show, let's have fun, let's do it. After the show, good job, guys. Same thing with Cody, same thing with the Bucks, same thing with Kenny, and everyone there, from Trent to Orange Cassidy. It's just a phenomenal place to be. The locker room, everything is great.
Right. Well, I got to ask you a question then, because you just mentioned somebody in particular, and I think it's my girlfriend's favorite wrestler in AEW. And that's Mr. Freshly Squeezed,
Yes.
Orange Cassidy. She's cheering over here in the corner. She loves Orange Cassidy. How's Orange Cassidy?
He's great.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy is phenomenal. we had a nice conversation. He gave me a lot of great advice, and Orange Cassidy is phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's what like I'm in a group chat with a bunch of friends that love wrestling, and whether a lot of them are WWE guys, AEW, it's a mix of everything. And there's like one guy in particular that calls him Pockets, and he doesn't get he doesn't like it, and I'm like this dude when he wrestles, he's super talented in the ring. And I actually love his gimmick. I love the whole like I'm too cool for school type deal.
Easily the smartest man in wrestling ever.
Right.
He has figured out a way to get the job done without killing himself. It's 100% smart. He's great. I love Orange Cassidy. I love everything he does.
Yeah, no, if you can sell the t-shirts, you can sell the styrofoam hands. We've got all that, by the way, too, here. So, yeah, he's won us over. We're big fans of Orange Cassidy. Best friends. I mean, I don't think there's nobody in AEW I don't enjoy watching, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a avid weekly viewer. Like, AEW, for me, has brought wrestling back to watching it full-time on a regular basis. I've been to 3 shows live. I've paid for every pay-per-view because I believe in supporting a product that you enjoy and want to see succeed. And, and I love, it's actually opened me to independent wrestling as well, where I started going to shows because I was like, oh, I've seen Darby Allin on a card before, but I never saw him wrestle, And now I've interviewed guys like Fabu Andre, who's been on the show. I've interviewed guys like Serpentico. Kylene King was on this week against Penelope Ford. It's like, so like I'm doing the whole independent scene down here in Florida, and now I'm getting to see the guys and girls that get to wrestle on TV, and I don't know, I'm just loving it. I'm having a great time. Get to talk to guys like you that I'm getting to see on TV. It's an awesome experience.
For sure, man. 100%.
So where can people look you up? I know you're a super busy guy. You've been traveling for 2 weeks. I'm going to let you get a little R&R. But where can people look you up if they want to follow you?
Okay, so all of my social media, Instagram, Twitter, is at Big Shotty Lee. So it's just BigShotty YLEE. Big Shotty Lee. Instagram and Twitter.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, well, Lee, thank you so much for joining me here on Toned In Entertainment tonight.
Sir.
All right, and best of luck, much success, and let's get that win before the librarian and Brandon Cutler, please. We're rooting for you. All right, Lee, have a great night.
All right, you too.
All right, take it easy.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.